Hello and welcome to another episode of The Kindness Habit. When you leave this episode, you're going to have tools to reduce your stress, reduce your anxiety, and really focus on the joy in your life. My guest today is someone I have known since I was 11 years old. We go way back. We used to be in the Children's Corral in Colorado, and we have a lot of awesome memories. She's one of my favorite people, and she's going to teach us a lot today. So, Julie OConnell, welcome to the show.
Hi, Allison.
I'm so excited to have you as a guest, and I'm so excited about the business that you just launched to be able to help people. But before we start, let's just tell the listeners some of our fun things that we did in Children's Corral, like how we connected, and also like how, because we were just talking about joy and humor, like from your point of view, how could you describe our last decades of connection and fun?
Well, first of all, you were one of the funniest people I had met. We were 11. We are cracking each other up endlessly. We were creating cassette tapes and at our own houses, but then passing them back and forth every time we saw each other, just doing little shows and whatnot, quizzes. We would laugh and laugh. We had
Yeah.
all of these little inside jokes,
Mhm.
and you lived in Evergreen, I lived in Lakewood, and we would spend the night at each other's house. And we just
Oh,
had a blast. And not
oh,
to mention all of the beautiful memories we have on stage with the Colorado Children's Chorale.
mhm.
The beautiful music and the camaraderie was beyond words.
Oh my gosh, yes. And that's impacted both of our careers, just the whole stage presence, experience, the discipline that Dwayne Wolf gave us just as performers. But also, what I love about us is that we do share the same sense of humor. And whether it was a movie quote, I mean, to this day, we crack each other up. So I also would encourage listeners, to find those people who you connect with, but also like really celebrate history of friendships because you are one of my favorite people.
Oh, back at you.
So you started something that is so awesome. I've been loving all your Instagram videos because I know that everything going on in the world, depending on chapters of my life, like I really have to slow down and be mindful of what I'm saying to myself, but also what I'm absorbing out there. So there's so much negative that we could absorb. And so I really want the listeners to hear what you started, why you started it, and then some of the benefits that we can get by doing some of your programs.
All righty. Well, I started as a voice artist and I was doing all kinds of different projects. In the meantime, I had been making meditation and affirmation tapes and recordings for myself for years now. And I realized that through a series of all these events, I niched down and realized that this is what I really want to do is create meditation and affirmation recordings, original recordings for audio download. And I am learning how to compose the background music because I'm loving incorporating this. They're called solfeggio frequencies. They're healing frequencies.
Oh,
So I am creating all these different subject matters for meditation and sleep affirmations.
now give us a couple of your examples, some of your topics.
So right now, since it's fairly new, I just have a handful, but I have wealth mindset. I
Mhm.
have releasing pounds. I have restful sleep. I
Mm.
have a post-op or a surgery recovery guided meditation. I have a back pain one on deck,
Mhm.
and I'm missing a fitness competition. If you're in a fitness competition, some affirmations to get you in the right mindset for that. So those are the ones I have so far. And a basic body love,
Mm.
loving your
Oh, yeah.
physical self.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. Well, when you talked about the fitness one, I just was listening to another podcast about Olympic athletes and about what they do. And the mental part about success is so huge with them as far as the pep talk and like what they are saying to themselves. So
Mm.
professional athletes do this, Olympians do this. And we know it's proven, as far as like what we put in our brain, how it truly affects us. So when you're making these, like what would be your advice for people as far as how do you really stay present and listen to these and not get distracted? Because I know I was just in yoga class today and I was trying to stay in the room for like an entire hour. And then my brain would be like, oh, and then I have to go do this. So I'm like, bring it back here. What are some of your tips when we are listening to some of your affirmations, meditations? How do you stay present? And what advice would you give people like first thing in the morning? Do you block time? Do you go outside? Like how do we do this successfully?
So I have do two different types of recordings. One of them are sleep affirmations. So
Mm,
you actually use these to fall asleep to. They are meant to program your subconscious mind while you're sleeping or help program your
right.
subconscious mind while you're sleeping.
Oh my God.
And those are up to an hour long. Those are to fall asleep to.
Yep.
I like to listen to those during the day when I'm doing dishes. Allison, we cannot turn our brains off. We cannot.
Mhm.
So you are doing the perfect thing by just letting the letting the thoughts come in, but then releasing them. It's just
Mm.
about it's a practice, just like yoga,
Mhm.
just like our yoga. It's something that you just practice, but
Mhm.
you practice releasing them and you practice staying focused as long as you can. Now, the guided meditations are only approximately 12 minutes long.
Okay.
They don't require you to keep too much attention. Um, for me, I like to just lie down and listen to them. And I'm speaking and there's music, so it's not too hard to stay focused on
Mhm.
what I'm saying on these particular ones. Um, but they could be morning or night,
Okay.
anytime you'd like. Or and you can some people prefer sitting up. They like their feet on the ground to feel grounded, but
Mm.
there's really no wrong way to do it. Even
Okay.
if you're doing something else during it, it still might help. It still would help you just feel relaxed with the
Mhm.
music and my voice. Just the good thoughts that are coming along with what you're and you said the key thing is about what you put in your head, what you
Mhm.
consume is so
Yes.
important.
Oh my gosh, yes. And then you'd also talked about you do these because you really want people to have more joy in their life. Like not only will it help us sleep, which will make us more joyful in the morning if we are, if we get a better night's sleep, but why is joy so important to you? And tell us when we do this, how will that bring more joy in our life?
Okay. Well, I think that joy is probably the one thing that we all are aspiring to obtain. I believe that anything that we want career wise or anything tangible or whatnot, our bodies, is because we think that will bring us joy or it.
Mm.
So finding our joy, finding our own inner peace is something that I would love to help. I'm working on it myself. And I feel like the more we can learn how to have joy be our dominant part of our day,
Mhm.
just the nicer our lives will be.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Because there's so much out of our control right now, and there's so much that is not joyful. But just for us to take the 12 minutes and really just give that to ourselves, because we really have to fuel ourselves before we can do anything else.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
and if you weren't watching the video and you're just listening, what Julie was doing when she said she was lying down listening, both times you closed your eyes. Do you also recommend people like close their eyes to be more present, or what's your advice for what's the best way to absorb your message?
I do. I definitely, in fact, it's one of my prompts at the very beginning of the recordings of the guided meditations. I say, close your eyes, and we start with a tiny bit of breath work. And then I usually just get right into it. But a lot of
Mhm.
it is visualization. I mean, most of it, if not all of it, is visualization. So I'm not sure you have a lot of time to think about other things during that. If you
Mhm.
do get distracted, it's totally fine.
Mhm.
Like I said, there's no wrong way to do this. And we have to be the most important thing is to be gentle with ourselves and not beat up on ourselves when thoughts come and go, because that's just what our brain does.
Mhm. For sure. Can you give the listeners just a little preview? Like when you said breath work, I know that everything that I read is if you really want to calm yourself down, it's all about your breath. So could you give us just a little teaser of one of,
Sure.
as far as
I
like,
have
what's
gone
what do
to
we do?
Bikram yoga classes and they make you go really fast and do a lot of those. I don't do that for mine.
Mhm.
I just do basic, take a deep breath in.
Okay.
And I personally do it in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4. But a lot of people, some people do 8, 8, and 8. Some
Mhm.
people just do in 4, out 4. So whatever people like, I don't tell them how long to hold it, but I prompt them to take 3 really deep breaths and really nice exhales just to get their body in the right frame, the right relax mode for
Can
the
we do that
beginning
right
of the
now?
what?
Let's do that right now. Three big
Okay.
breaths. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Oh.
Take a deep breath in. And I will say, let's do 4, Allison.
Do we breathe out of our mouth?
I tend to because of my yoga practice,
Okay.
but I really like both. Mainly when I'm laying down, I normally do in through nose, out through nose. But
Oh,
when I'm
okay.
sitting up for some reason, it reminds me of my mat. So I always do out of my mouth.
Okay. So that's optional for the listeners. Okay, so we have three more breaths. Okay,
Okay.
right?
Yes. Ready?
Mm.
I don't know about you, but every single time I do that, it is immediate relief and it immediately almost transcends me to a much more peaceful spot.
Oh my gosh, I can felt my shoulders go down just a little bit.
I almost feel like tingly too.
New energy. So, if nothing else out of this podcast, make sure that every day you are stopping to make those deep breaths that we did right now, because the breath has such a huge impact on our body. Julie, so tell us, I know you just launched a new website. So tell us, what is it called? How does it work? What can we do so we can reduce our
So
stress and have a little bit more
thank you.
joy?
I love that.
Yeah.
It is juliemeditations.com.
Mhm.
And then there you'll find a button for the store. And I'll have all of the choices of the meditation, guided meditations or sleep affirmations. And then the different subjects are there. Eventually, they're going to be neatly organized in groups and there'll be a search bar.
Okay.
Also, I'm going to see, they're MP3 downloads.
Mhm.
So I want to add a page on exactly step by step on where to store it in your phone if you're not sure, whether
Oh,
you
good
have an
idea.
Android or an iPhone.
Okay.
And I also want to have a page on the solfeggio frequencies and which number means what. You don't have to buy into that if you're not into it. You'll love the beautiful music anyway.
Mm. Well, and
And then
also tell the listeners your background on how you do this, because you're very unique in what you do. Julie has a really cool high-tech studio, but you're a composer. Like you do the music, you do everything. So tell them your background and how you do all this.
Well, truthfully, I'm just kind of a tech head. I love audio, I love video, I love music, and I love experimenting. And I also love reading about new things. Like I wasn't familiar with the solfeggio frequencies until this last year.
Mhm. I
Um,
didn't even
I'm
say that. So,
I know I had to look it up, and I hope I'm saying it right. I had to look it up in a couple different videos, so hopefully I'm saying it right too.
right.
But it's just one of my passions is putting together a really nice, beautiful music for your ears with my voice and the music, background music together.
Well, you were born to do this. You were born to reduce our stress and bring us more joy. I know that you have brought so much joy to my life just with your energy and your friendship. So I want to thank you not only for being a guest on the Kindness Habit, but also for your friendship over the decades. And I can't wait to get these tools out to people because we need to be kind to ourselves more than anything else. So really to
Agreed
block,
so much.
yes. So whether it's 2 minutes of breathing to 12 minutes to an hour of Julie's sleep meditations, I'm going to challenge you all. Do something that is kind for yourself. And again, Julie, tell us how we can get to your website.
So it's juliemeditations.com. And I'm on most of all of the social media under Julie Meditations too.
All right. Yes, I love her Instagram videos. Check them out.
Thank
Okay,
you,
thank you so much, Julie.
Allison.